Hey there, Eli again, coming at you from the fish room of OSA Coventry. Here today to give a spotlight on one of my favorite reef fish, and that is the family of Anthias. This last shipment we got this week had 3 different types of Anthias on it, which are fish that we haven't had a bunch of for a little while now. And I just wanted to showcase a few of the different types that we got in stock at the moment. These 2 tanks behind me both have a different type of Anthias in it. This tank to my right has a handful of disbar Anthias, and this one to my left has a group of lyre-tailed Anthias. These are really cool reef fish. They are a shoaling fish that in the wild will exist in really big groups, and they usually will stick tight to branching corals. And they form these social groups with one male and a bunch of females, or a few males that are outnumbered by females, and they form these social harems in the wild in that sort of manner. As a shoaling fish, they pretty much only exist in the wild in these groups, so they are very used to being in a social setting. However, this can be a little bit hard to mimic in the aquarium setting. Generally, if these fish feel a little bit cramped, there will be a little more aggression involved, so keeping them in a large enough aquarium is a must. Generally, if you wanted to keep a single, especially if you're looking at a male, maybe a 75-gallon aquarium should be sufficient, as this will allow him enough room to feel like he is not overcrowded and offers enough space away from other fish that he does not feel the need to be so territorial. One thing that is very important to making these fish feel very comfortable in their aquarium setting is to feed them multiple times a day. So in the wild, these fish post up in areas with a lot of flow, and they just face into the flow and catch whatever food is going to come by. And in the aquarium setting, we are often not feeding our aquariums many times per day. So in order to make sure that these fish feel at home in the tank, and to make sure that they minimize aggression with other fish, or especially if you want to keep a small group of Anthias, having a large enough aquarium to afford them some space and feeding a few small meals per day absolutely helps in keeping the aggression down between Anthias, or between Anthias and the other fish in the aquarium. These guys are planktivores, so they generally will eat mysis shrimp, brine shrimp, anything of that matter. And they are usually suited to eating flake food down the road as well, especially if you're looking at some of the easier species like the lyre-tail or like the disbar Anthias behind me. One of my favorite things about the Anthias, in addition to them just being a very social, outgoing, shoaling fish, is that there is a dimorphism between males and females. So especially notable on these lyre-tailed Anthias here, the male is that beautiful red color with yellow flanks, whereas the female is more of a orange color with those beautiful purple eyes. These are just like, say, clownfish, or honestly a lot of your other reef fish, hermaphroditic fish. These are what you would call protogonous hermaphrodites. So they start as female, and as needed in the aquarium or in the wild setting, the most dominant female will generally become male. This is a reproductive strategy for these fish to take advantage of their wild environment where there is an abundance of food. It is very helpful for this fish in the wild to have more females than males, as this allows for a larger production of eggs that allows for a greater recruitment of juveniles as these fish start to breed. So just an interesting fact about your Anthias. All of them that I know of start as female and will transition to male as needed. If you desire to keep a trio or a group of Anthias, a lot of times it is helpful to start with only females if you can identify those. And as time progresses, generally the largest or the most dominant Anthias will over time progress, change its color and its pattern, and become a fully functional male in the aquarium setting. With a large enough aquarium and with frequent enough feedings, you can keep multiple males in your group. However, generally having a single male and a bunch of females is going to be the easiest way to keep Anthias in the long run. Anthias species can also be crossed in tanks as long as you have enough room for them to stake their claim. It would not be out of the picture in, say, a 6-foot aquarium to have a small group of lyre-tails and a small group of disbars as well, as long as you are keeping them nice and well fed. As an open water swimmer, the Anthias are prone to jumping when startled, so it's definitely important, if you plan on keeping Anthias, to have a tightly fitting lid on top of your aquarium, as that'll help to make sure that these guys do not jump from the tank if they feel startled. However, they are a very rewarding aquarium fish, very outgoing, usually always out and about, and a super great addition to add to just about any reef tank as long as you have the space for them. So Anthias, one of my favorite aquarium fish, Definitely a really cool presence for the reef setting and a very active shoaling fish, a very rewarding fish to be kept in the aquarium setting. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comment section below if you have questions or suggestions for future videos. And as always, keep it fishy.